Hello, you're listening to Otaku Spirit Animecast. My name is Andrew, and I'm joined here with Chris.
Yo.
Today's episode is a discussional podcast episode where we talk about the news that seems important to us, dive into our community, answer some great questions from our community members, and then say goodbye. So, Chris, how's the last 2 weeks?
Been okay.
Well, we had a mailbag episode last week, so it wasn't like we had a big break from just the casual talk. But yeah, I was planning on an interview for this week, but they're a little difficult to I guess get in same line with in order to actually have a talk. So maybe the following week or something. We'll see. I do know that we talk a lot about risque stuff, like ecchi stuff. So maybe they're finding it difficult to convince themselves to talk to us, right? Because it's a joke, by the way. It hints at who we're going to be talking to, that they actually don't care. They would prefer that. But no, yeah, that was the plan. But unfortunately, we didn't get a time scheduled between the two of us. So there's a time zone difference there that makes things a little difficult. So we'll see. But it's going to be a fun discussion. I think it's going to be a really relevant to current time. Hopefully, that's the reason why I want to get done sooner rather than later, is because it's more relevant now than later. So we'll see. But yeah, fun last couple weeks though. We had a fun mailbag last week, a lot of great questions. Hopefully we can get to some more today. One specifically, somebody yelled at me on Twitter for not answering their question fast enough. I think it got lost in the contact us method through the website, but we'll see if we can get that one done too. But yeah, pretty decent week. Not some crazy news. There's a couple bits of news that are really significant, but nothing really super crazy. But still some stuff relevant to go through. So hopefully you guys enjoy all this stuff that we'll go through and then wrap things up. But now Genshin Impact, the new patch is coming up, so I'm sort of excited. The introduction of Dendro, so hopefully that'll be a nice spruce for the game. But as per usual, I don't think they care much about in-game, so it's probably just going to be the same old game, just another area, more less stuff.
I'm excited about it. The only problem is that I got a kick out of it when I did the last summon, and I went ahead and got the character Andrew. Andrew says, "You're not even playing it anymore." It's not that I don't want to play it, I just can't.
Don't want. Oh, well, yeah, this is the time consumption there.
Yeah.
But I thought about making a YouTube video that just me ranting about what they need to fix in the game. I don't know if people get mad at, like, oh, you do anime, don't do video games. But it's like, it's an anime game. But I just kind of had this desire to make like a big long, like, these are like the 10 things that Genshin Impact needs to fix now. I mean, obviously things like, if you're new to the game and you get a new character, you have to wait like 80 hours worth of gameplay just to get to the bosses that you need in order to level up the character, stuff like that. But also the things like skips and all that kind of stuff that really need to be fixed now. And yeah, technically in-game sucks for the game, but I don't know. I thought about like some ways they can help their co-op. Like one thing that I had in mind was like, if you're co-oping in the open world, you can have like random encounters with like groups of tough mobs that would just be out in the field. And if you defeat them, you'll get like, I don't know, a primo gem. Like something to make it worth hanging out with somebody in their game. Like 10 primo gems a day that you can get just by walking around the world and killing random mobs.
Yeah.
I would encourage you to go to other people's worlds and help them with their exploration and stuff. Don't make it so punishing. Anyways, I've been trying to get reacquainted with Bleach. I didn't want to say caught up, but reacquainted with Bleach. So I've been reading through that, and I ran into a 100 chapter limit on his Viz account. I didn't think about it until after I talked to him about it. I was like, what? Wait, it's telling me there's like 100 chapter limit for a day? He's like, yeah. I was like, and then I didn't think about it until later. I'm like, oh, I hope you weren't reading anything because you're not going to be able to read anything for the day.
No, I've had that account going, but I as much as I want to start digging into it, I just, again, time.
Yeah. So I busted through like 100. Well, I did bust through 100 chapters yesterday of Bleach, and I'm like into the whole Hosmundo thing. Is it Hosmundo? The Iron Cards, stuff like that. Yeah, Huchamundo. Into that, just started that arc. That's why it's not completely fresh in my mind. But no, I was telling Chris, I'm like, I'm reminded why I liked Bleach so much back in the day. It was like, because Ichigo's a cool character. Like when he's in, around that time when Bleach was coming out, we obviously had a lot of different shonens and stuff like that, but it was like, Goku, who was just a dumb fight geek. He just wanted to fight all the time and always fighting and always training and stuff like that. Ichigo's like a normal dude, and when he gets into a fight, he's focused. Like, he doesn't, he'll do a goofy thing here and there. There'll be a goofy shtick here and there, but for the most part, he's focused on, this is my target. And he's very serious about it. It doesn't feel cheesy. He doesn't feel overpowered. He doesn't feel cheesy. He doesn't feel overly goofy. He's so focused. Like, he's just, I want to kick this thing's butt because I have something to say. Yeah. And it's so simple, and yet at the same time, I really like it.
I think that we kind of dug into this in when we did the shonen, breaking down shonens and stuff like that, or epics or something like that, and it was one of those things that we kept. I remember that it seemed like when we were doing the actual discussion, Bleach came up a lot as the one that did the formula right. I mean, we would talk about Goku in general, or Fairy Tail or something like that, but Bleach was the one that take away the side of, okay, them dragging it out too long later. The fact that they actually pulled off the formula really well, giving Ichigo a solid drive, doing the factions properly, doing the reveals well, all those things, formula wise, that one pulled it off.
Well,
by far.
I think the key thing there is that when I think about Dragon Ball and Naruto and all these other shows, I immediately think, who's my favorite characters? And it's always side characters. Whereas Bleach is actually like Ichigo. Like, with all the other ones, Naruto's an idiot, and I hate him to death. Like, I hated Naruto from the very beginning. With something like Dragon Ball, I got sick of Goku pretty darn quick. I don't know, it wasn't quick, but I don't know, about halfway through the series, I just at some point realized that Goku's technically the bad guy. Like, he is the reason why they keep getting into these really pressing issues, is because he can't stop fighting, and he's always into fights, and he's always challenging somebody, and he's causing problems in the end.
Well, one of my favorite characters of all time is Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. So, I mean, and he's quote unquote the main villain in one of at least one or two of the arcs.
Yeah, he's a mass killer if you think about it. But no, it is interesting though, because it was like at some point I was reading through it. Well, I'm mostly speed reading through it. I'm not like reading every single dialogue. So like a lot of the random shenanigan classroom scene, that probably skip through that stuff. A lot of the fights, I'm kind of skimming through it pretty darn quickly. I don't know that I wanted to make a video just talking about Ichigo and what I'm basically talking about right now, but I don't know that I'm going to be getting into, I'm not going to be reading through it like seriously. I'm just trying to refresh myself. So I'm basically skimming through it and going, oh yeah, I remember this part. Oh yeah, I remember this part. But it is an interesting thing to really think about, is that how much more different Bleach was than most things. And it's got a good style to it, obviously, and really looking forward to getting fully caught up if Viz will let me read everything. That means that I have like 2 more days to finally read through the rest of it, but we'll see. I just had like a whole day to kind of skim through it, so I don't know that I'll have that much time again, but I need to get that done quickly so I can get back to Mashoko. So yeah, I kind of put Mashoko on the side for now until I get that caught up, because I want to get through it now, because I don't want to wait until the very end and then boom, here's Bleach coming back and sign up for Disney Plus. If that happens. Did we talk about that last week?
What's that?
Or no, it wouldn't have been last podcast, would it?
Oh,
the Bleach leak.
Supposant, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we talked about it, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, for those who don't know, there was a bunch of leaks coming out that everybody says is credible leaks, that Bleach has been licensed by Disney. And that's all they've said. Now, what I argued in my video is that, for one, we don't know what they licensed. They could have just licensed to stream in Japan, and that's it, because Disney seems to be, that's their focus. They could have licensed worldwide. It makes sense because Crunchyroll, I think at this point, would probably have announced it already. It seems quite odd that Crunchyroll wouldn't be like, hey guys, we got this. I mean, they had Crunchyroll Expo and stuff. They could have easily talked about it then. So it does make sense that it's to somebody else, not Crunchyroll. But at the same time, we don't know the extent of what they've licensed. Again, that could just be Japan. It could be worldwide. But the issue there, obviously, is that Disney's probably not going to simulcast it everywhere, which would be very frustrating. So we'll see, though. It is a leak. Nothing's confirmed yet, but I think Disney's got a event coming up here soon. I think everybody's saying like D23, which I'm assuming it means the 23rd. I don't know, but there's an event coming up, so maybe that'll be announced then. But for now, it's just a leak, and we don't know for sure. But that would suck if I get caught up in everything, and then suddenly I have to worry about fan subs. Ugh, fan subs. Fan subs aren't what they used to be. Fan subs are not what they used to be. But I mean, credit to people that do things on their own time and for no profit. But fan subs are not what they used to be. They're either rips from, obviously most of them are just rips from websites, rips from Crunchyroll, rips from Disney, all that kind of stuff. But some are just like, I'll get it up when I get it up. And if I get it up, it probably is going to be nothing but rips from manga panels. Like they're just taking the text from manga panels and then trying to figure out where it would go in the episode. It's kind of wild. Anyways, that's fun. We'll see where that goes, but yeah, getting caught up on Bleach, and again, I think that's pretty much it right now. I just posted my live of tier listing all the best girls from the season, which that was fun. That was a very long editing process. The cool thing was, though, I decided to record the audio on the side. That way I can just rip the video and then stick the audio over it. Because when I'm live streaming, I usually have like, OPs and EDs in the background. So I found that kind of worked pretty well. Just a lot of edits, a lot of cuts, just to make it fit into an hour long.
Well, I took a break to do my Genshin event, and so the last week I've been just catching up on shows. So everything's two episodes for every show. I'm doing 2 episodes a night. Yeah,
fun.
I always feel like I'm catching up on shows.
You enjoying Josh and Chan's tourist arc? Josh and Chan Dropkick has turned into just basically a tourist show, which is kind of sucks, but at the same time, I guess that's what it took for them to get the anime made. I don't know. Not that I mind when things do that, but at the same time, it's got to have some good, funny stuff to throw in there with it. And it's Josh and Chan. It does it every now and then. It pulls something off every now and then, so it's not.
I thought there was.
I'm just looking for the Miku parts. That's all I'm really looking for.
There's a joke here and there that I get a kick out of. The panda was kind of funny. There was a fourth wall break part.
He said, "Do you get to the part where the fourth wall broke?" And I'm like, you have to be specific. Like they do that literally 5 times an episode.
Well, this specific one was really, really in your face. It was
I gotta kick out the panda writing.
For a fact that it happened when Josh and Chan does this kind of quote thing in a particular part of the joke, and I thought it was hilarious. But outside of that, it's been Josh and Chan. So
the writing the panda thing was great.
Yeah, the panda thing was pretty funny.
She keeps coming back, and eventually she forces it. She's like, "Why did you make me the enemy? Why did you make me look like the villain?" It was just like I get a kick out of this, like, and they're all upset, like they can't enjoy it, even though they've wanted to enjoy that for like the longest time. It was just so dorky. That was kind of what I was hoping they would get into with that particular character, was that concept. You're supposed to be like this important person, but then yet you want to enjoy the niceties of a child. And that was kind of what I was expecting when they first introduced the character, but they didn't really jump right into it. And then now they're doing it. Yeah. So it's good stuff. Anyways, yeah, that's been fun. I Engage Kiss is getting a little bit better. There's a couple of other shows that are kind of not really working for me, especially things like My Isekai Life, just not really working for me. But overall, it's been a pretty solid season. Like most of the stuff that I've been pretty much hyped for at the very beginning are still staying pretty hype.
Isekai Life is fine for me. I'm enjoying Black Summoner a lot better. But those have been kind of just generally popcorn shows for me. I've just been enjoying them.
That's kind of where that's kind of where I sit with both of those. Like Parallel Pharmacist is doing a lot of really cool stuff. But for the isekai, I would say generics, they're not really doing anything. Like, yeah, Black Summoner, Isekai Life, those are the ones that are like, I think at the end of the season, they're going to be ones I'll never remember again. Like, they're those ones that are just, you're not going to do anything, are you? Like, you're literally not going to do anything, are you? You're just going to be, I exist. Yep, there's an Isekai that exists. That kind of feel. But not that they're terrible, but just they're not really doing anything. And I don't know, I kind of don't like the main character of Black Summoner. I really don't like him.
I can see why you would he would be hard to deal with, because he is just that, he's Goku. And they've pretty much turned him into that. He's quote unquote the battle junkie, and that's all he's obsessed about, is he wants to take on this character or that character. Why? Because he wants to see if he's stronger than them. And that's all that he does.
And they literally put a couch out. like, can we talk about the whole idea that whenever you have the character that's overpowered and everybody's watching and going Sugoi, this is the one where it's like, literally, let's put a couch out just for everybody to sit on and watch how Sugoi is.
Literally a popcorn show when his
entire team is eating
popcorn on the side.
Not really popcorn, but sandwiches. I don't know. It's existing, so that's fine. We'll see, though. There's a few shows that are kind of like shrug, but it's like I said, the ones that I've been excited for at the very beginning are still holding out. So that's all I can ask for. That the ones that I hyped up are at least still holding. Granted, Engage Kiss I hyped up a lot, and it's kind of it's still good. It's just not as much as I was kind of hoping from the very beginning. But it's very adult. This dude gets around. And he knows how to put a girl to sleep. Okay, sorry. That's wrong, Jim. I'm sorry.
You all right?
That was the only way that he can get injected in here. Come on. But anyways, the news. We should jump into the news. Let's start things off with the first bit of news, which just came out here, I think, yesterday, which is that the second episode of Teppen apparently is coming out finally. For those that are not aware, this was unfortunately the one that was... unfortunately, for multiple reasons, obviously. The one that was delayed because they had the assassination in Japan, and it had a topic of the episode was about that. So they delayed it, or they pretty much canceled it. I think they reran the first episode. But now they're apparently saying that they're going to be airing the second episode on September 10th. So for those that have been waiting for it, apparently it's finally going to come around on September 10th. So look forward to that. So I don't know. Teppen wasn't working but I've only given like 2 episodes, so I'm not going to say positive or negative yet. Have you gotten back to it yet?
No, I never tried it.
Oh, never tried it. Because the second episode disappeared and you're like, nah, I'm not going to try this.
No. Other shows were a bit more interesting to me.
Yeah. So yeah, cool stuff. Moving on, we have in the 215th chapter of One Punch Man, the manga. It has been revealed the manga will be receiving a 3rd season anime adaptation. So exciting, Chris. Are you ready for One Punch Man to come back?
No, I'm more interested in Tatsuya.
What?
The Air Girl.
Oh, okay. There you go. So you're excited for it? I don't know if that's a yes or no. Are you excited for the anime to come back? No. But I'm excited for Tetsu. So you're excited for the anime to come back so you can see her. I mean, that was technically my argument, is that they kind of started building up to show like a bunch of cool characters and then like, okay, that's it. And then, yeah, the assumption would be that you bring another season, we might see those characters in action. So I don't know. We'll see. They haven't announced the studio or the team or anything yet, so we don't know if this is going to be the same team from the second season, which everybody was super angry about, or if we're going to go back to the first season's studio, which was Bones? Question mark?
I don't know. I don't remember.
They had some really great animation in the first season. The second season wasn't as much, but my thing that I was about with the second season was obviously that things were kind of picking up story-wise. I never cared much for the humor itself. It didn't really work for me, the whole idea of like this big build-up of this big villain and everything's going in danger and watch out because this is going to be this big plot to take down the world, and then he shows up and literally punches and everything's done. That was the joke, and it seemed like they kind of they evolved that joke into some other stuff, so it got better. But for me, I think it was more about like the whole aspect of the, yeah,
Tatsumaki. I was just thinking about how somebody's probably mad at me because I named her wrong.
Madhouse was the first season. Second season was JC stuff. But anyways, the hope there is that a lot of that aspect around like the Joe Schmo having a job and wanting to just live his life, and the idea of it pretty much being My Hero Academia but without the school stuff. So it's just heroes that sign up to be heroes kind of stuff. So hopefully the third season's good. I don't know. I've heard some mixed responses to this adaptation, so.
Well, I mean, we mentioned it. I mean, it was there. The reasons why we didn't care for it is it's not. I can
joke.
see, yeah, it's the initial joke. Everything else about the show for me was just fine. I really, really enjoyed the bike riding guy. Was it Moomin Rider or something like that?
Yeah,
it was a take on that. But there's a lot of things about the show that I do like. I just One Punch Man just kind of really didn't work for me.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, the other news that came out around the same time was that they are apparently going to go on hiatus for the manga for about a month while they work on the next arc. So that's if you're reading the manga as it comes out, be aware that they'll have a little bit of delay. So cool stuff though, exciting stuff.
And on the bright side, I like that a lot more than Mob. So take the wins that you can get.
Okay, didn't have to admit that. Some really interesting news that the official website, an official website and Twitter account was opened up for the anime adaptation of Dungeon Meshi. The thing that was kind of crazy for me, I guess, I don't know why, is that apparently it's Studio Trigger that's working on it. So it's Trigger's doing a dungeon crawling anime where you eat food, which I don't know. I of all the studios, I never really pegged Trigger to do a food prawn dungeon crawler.
I love the idea. I absolutely love it. I'm all for it. I can't wait to see this, really.
Yeah, it's basically it's something to the effect of that they end up getting attacked by this dragon, lose everything, and then they have to go save their friend, but they don't have money to pay for food. So this main guy, his whole thought process is that, well, why don't we just cook what we kind of defeat down there? So it's like them, cooking slimes and basilisks and mimics and stuff like that to figure out if they can cook them in a way that makes them tasty. So that aspect of it does make it sound a lot more interesting than just, hey guys, I made this beef, and then they go munch, and then flying angels and stuff like that, which I don't care for. I've never been a fan of the whole food show thing, so hopefully this will be the first time. I don't know, maybe we'll have like crazy Trigger animations when they eat food. Who knows? Trigger's known for doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, cool stuff. Interesting studio choice. We'll see if that one turns out to be... Yeah, we'll see. Moving on, High Dive has announced that they will be streaming the Revue Starlight movie on August 24th. So for all those that missed the screening of the film, be looking forward to that streaming on their platform. I might be checking... That's literally going to be like the next day as the time of posting this. I might be checking it out, but I don't know. I wasn't too much of a big fan of the original series, so... We'll see.
Is that the original show, or is it going to be new content?
New content.
Okay.
New content. Picks up soon as the original series left off and opens a curtain on a new original story set in during the Keren and Hikari's third years of Saisho Music Academy. Spoiler. I guess semi-spoiler. I don't know. There you go. Exciting stuff. Sentai Filmworks has announced that Section 23 Films is going to be releasing the 4K remaster of Royal Space Force on home video on November 4th. So apparently it's supposed to be in collaboration with the original group and the director. Their whole thing is they're going to be remastering using the original 35mm master print and working along with the original director. So that's pretty cool. I always love seeing this old stuff kind of coming back. So them giving a proper release is always fantastic. Apparently it's going to be in a box set including with the 4K Ultra Blu-ray edition, the standard Blu-ray, and a bonus disc. Extras include an audio version of the pilot film, a collection of background music, and a quote-unquote document file. Whatever that is. So, cool stuff.
I just figured that the document file would probably be like breakdowns of the characters, but... an excuse to do the artwork, give you the artwork with as a way to make it look like they're doing something that's in theme with the story.
Yeah, depending on what kind of size it is. I don't know if it's like a big, huge box, and then they can fit a document in it. Like when I hear document, I think 8.5 by 11, not like I don't know, like posted cards or something. Maybe they'll roll it up. I don't know. But again, really cool. Again, see another old classic coming back to being brought to digital format in a good way. So cool stuff. For those that are waiting on Netflix's Cyberpunk Edge Runner anime, apparently they have set a date for it. We knew that was in September, but now we have an official date of September 13th. So if you are looking forward to that, again, this is what I expect from Trigger. This is what I expect from Trigger. If you're waiting for that Trigger Cyberpunk, hopefully will not have to be patched anime. Look forward to that on the 13th. I'm going to keep using that joke. It's a good joke. Come on. I don't know. They might have to patch it in the Blu-ray. They've done that with anime. But I don't know. This is a pre-made show series. So cool stuff. The official Twitter account for Eden Zero has announced the second season of the anime will premiere in 2023. I put 2013 on my document. I don't know why. 2023. So
it came out 10 years ago?
Yes.
Good.
No, it's 9 years ago. But yes. There you go. They have a new visual for it. I need to get on this one. I don't know. Everybody's saying that you don't have to watch Fairy Tail to watch it, but I'm like, all the characters look like it and there's Happy. All the characters look like Fairy Tail and there's Happy in it. So why would I not assume that there's some sort of connection? We'll see, though. Eventually, I might get around to it. Yeah. Are you excited for it? Have you checked out the first one?
No.
Are you
I'm going into this completely and totally blind. So.
Okay. During an event for Haikyuu, they announced that the Haikyuu manga will be getting 2 Haikyuu final sequel films. So I don't know if that's the finale of the series or if that's just a final competition. So I'm assuming Haikyuu fans know. And
I can't wait. We're gonna get told 1.5 million times how much we need to watch it.
For like the 15 people that go to the theaters for Haikyuu final film in America. It's a joke. Eventually, I will check it out. It's an eventuality, just not now. It's an eventuality, so. Moving on, Kadokawa has announced that the magical revolution of the reincarnated princess is getting an anime in 2023. This is being done by Studio Diam Media, and the script work apparently is being done by Wataru Watari, who of course is known for being the original creator of Snafu. He's done some script work for a lot of stuff, so. This one's despite her supposed ineptitude in regular magic, Princess Anisfia defies the aristocracy's expectations by developing magicology, a unique magic theory based on the memories of her past life. One day, she witnessed the brilliant noblewoman Euphilia unjustly stripped of her title as the kingdom's next monarch. That's when Anisfia concocts the plan to help Euphilia regain her good name, which somehow involves them living together and researching magic. Little do these ladies know, however, that the chance encounter will not only alter their own fates and their own future, but those of the kingdom and the entire world. I always love when they end things like that. The world.
Yeah, he's totally.
Great character designs. I like them.
I love the frills and when Andrew was playing the video, the girls just flying around and with all kinds of swords and all that stuff. It looks fantastic. I can't wait for this. Looks like a blast.
Yeah, good character designs. Character designer did Kankali and Domestic Girlfriend. I figured it was going to be something else, but it's good designs on it. Really like that. But we'll see. More Magic Girls anime. Always open for more Magic anime girls. Moving on, the official website for the anime Onimai, which I Am Now Your Sister, has begun streaming a promo, which has revealed a premiere date of January 2023. So, for those that don't remember, this is the one that's being done by Studio Bind, the studio that was open to adapt Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. So, obviously doing other works besides just Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation, which I think I've noted before when they first announced the adaptation of this, is that this is technically a different team. It's probably the same animators, but different team of directors and stuff that's going to be working on this. So don't be concerned that this means that, oh my gosh, they're not going to be able to do Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. They're still doing the second season and everything. It's just another team probably just doing some filler stuff in between as they work on the other projects. So cool to see. I mean, the the actual PV itself looks great visually. Looks a lot of fun. So this is apparently the one that has the sister who turns her brother into a girl and shenanigans happen. I was kind of expecting this to be a short. I haven't seen anything that's kind of suggested it's going to be a short at this point, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I just a little tidbit secret for everybody. I really do have a guilty pleasure for the gender bender stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Looking forward to that one in January. Moving on, we have Disney Plus has plans to release an ad-supported subscription tier on December 8th. This new ad-supported tier will be $7.99 a month, which is fantastic, unless you're somebody that's already subscribing to the non-ad-supported one, which apparently is going up to $10.99. Yeah, the joke is that the non-ad-supported one was already $7.99, so them adding this new one means the ad-free one has to bump up to $10.99, which is kind of crazy. That's like $3. It's quite a jump. I mean, Netflix does it like every year. They'll up by $1, but going up $3 is pretty crazy. So for all those that are making the connection here, this does kind of suck. If Disney does get Bleach, that means we'll be paying $10.99 a month in order to watch it, unless you yo-ho-ho-ho 7 Seas, which I think most people will be doing. But anyways, that one sucks. But I don't know. Again, we've mentioned this before with the whole Netflix getting an ad tier. It all depends on how annoying it is, how it's going to fill in there, how often it's going to be. Which I think the Netflix one's supposed to be in October, wasn't it? October, November. So we'll see how they handle the ad supported. Probably not well.
I'm not sure. I am barely paying attention to what Netflix is doing it half the time.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, technically, Disney already has a model in which they can work based off of, which is their other company, which is Hulu. So Hulu already has ad-supported subs, so they'll probably do similar to what Hulu does, obviously. So moving on, the unofficial Twitter account for the Misfit of Demon King Academy has announced the second season will be debuting in 2023. So I seem to remember this was announced a long time ago. I really do. Side of me remembers this being announced a long time ago. We talked about it, but apparently they're finally announcing the year, which will be next year. So we're nowhere near closer to knowing how soon this is coming out, but I'm looking forward to it. I really did enjoy the first season, and I enjoyed the character designs especially. But he was OP main character done right. So yeah, I'm looking forward to more of it. Obviously, there's still the bigger picture of that story, which I don't think was ever really fully delved into, which is who's making everything screwed up, because he's a reincarnated type of character. So yeah. The official website for My Life as Inukai's Dog has released a promo revealing staff, cast, and a January 2023 premiere. This is being done by Studio Quad. The synopsis and this is the this is the synopsis that it was a little bit wild. The dog viewpoint romantic comedy manga centers around protagonist who suddenly wakes up one day to find that he has been turned into the dog of his a pet dog of his cool and beautiful classmate Karen Inukai. While Karen is cool and expressionless at school, at home she dotes on her pet dog. So yeah,
I can't wait. I love this. When I went ahead and read the manga because the concept, I loved the concept, and I can't wait to watch the show. It's going to be so much fun. It really is.
Yeah, the only problem that I see, and this could be just because it's on a PV that was put on Twitter, or not Twitter, on YouTube, is I heard everybody talking about this supposed to be like super ecchi, and this the PV shows nothing. So I don't know if it's going to be one of those ones where the TV broadcast, they choose clever angles so that you can't see anything, or if it's gonna be one of those ones where it's just maybe just censored just for the sake of the PV. But I don't know. Wasn't it supposed to be like super ecchi? I mean,
concept-wise, it's got some very, very questionable shots, but when it comes down to it, it's not as ecchi as some have been. It's really more just the shots and implications more than anything.
You know what's going to be really raunchy? An official website was open for anime adaptation of Harem Camp manga. Harem Camp manga. This is going to be streaming on Anime Festa in mid-September. Previously, it's going to be streaming on Anime Festa mid-September, and then later we'll do a TV broadcast on Tokyo MX and BS11 on October 2nd. So fall proper on TV broadcast in October, but the early streaming will be on Anime Festa. So interesting stuff. The story follows a teacher and veteran solo camper, Kensuke, who forms a camping group with 4 girls. So yeah, that's going to be basically hentai. So it was so funny because I did a video on this and I was like, yeah, here's another ecchi show, Harem Camp. And then I had to get a key art to put on the thumbnail. I'm like, oh, never mind.
No, that one actually.
Ecchi. I mean, it's still technically ecchi equals pervert, but still, it's further than that.
Oh yeah,
further than that. So
this is one of the few that I've actually looked into. Yeah, it's all the way.
Chris is jumping right in there. I looked at it too. So there you go. Look forward to that one. It's probably going to be a short. I think the studio that does that stuff is typically just shorts. So
yeah, more than likely.
There you go. Look forward to that if you are a person of culture. Official website for My One Hit Kill Sister has announced it will premiering in 2023. Another one that's just 2023. Why can't you give us at least a season? But look forward to that one. That one was a goofy concept, if I remember correctly. That was the one that had like the guy is like reincarnated in another world, but he's like super weak. But then his sister, who's like superly overly doty of him, is the one that gets all the overpowered abilities. So
totally not. My mama is super OP.
My mom and her 2-hit combo attack or something like that. Totally not the same as sister with her 1-hit combo attack thing. Story follows Asahi, a high school student who got lost and ended up in another world. You know how that happens. It happens. He has knowledge of video games and fantasy world, but he is weak and does not have any cheat abilities. He finds his older sister Maya in the other world, and she has the strongest cheat ability and also has a brother complex. So it's this con stuff. Sounds like fun. I'll be looking forward to that one. It's still going in the idea, the whole cheat isekai thing, but the sister's the cheat isekais. He's still technically overpowered. He's just gonna be on the side at like Kazuna. He's just on the side making shenanigans. So reacting to everything. Moving on, some more fun news out of Crunchyroll. They just can't stop being doing stuff that makes us mad. Crunchyroll has fired French voice actress Anna Lazare Gishi, or Gishi, I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce the last part, Anna, for the fandub of Chainsaw Man trailer. So apparently Anna, who was working for Crunchyroll, doing the role as Kikyo for Classroom Elite, I think she's also technically doing Chizuru for Rent a Girlfriend, which I think she's still doing. But she was fired from her role as Kikyo in Classroom Elite. She went onto Twitter and stated that, she got a call from Crunchyroll. This is what they told me that I'm allowed to say, but that she was apparently let go after and no longer able to play Kikyo for Classroom Elite. The decision was made following her Chainsaw Man fandub. She's pretty much was stating that she was looking for a amicable solution. Like, can we just take down the fandub of this trailer and let it be? But apparently that was not enough. So she's been let go. Again, I don't know if she was working with Crunchyroll for the role of Chizuru for Rent a Girlfriend, or if somebody else is doing that. I think it's Crunchyroll, because the French dub is on Crunchyroll for North America, so I'm assuming so. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. She kind of noted herself that it's kind of scary to think that that is enough cause to fire somebody, because technically a lot of people that eventually do voicing roles in anime got their discovery by doing fandubs. And as we've noted before, technically Crunchyroll had fandubs at some point. They had fansubs and fandubs, but yeah, I'm just gonna say I believe this is probably a decision made because, from what I'm gathering, the owners of Chainsaw Man, the animated format, are being pretty strict online with copyright claims. You can even see it on her Twitter feed where she did post a video showing what she did for Chainsaw Man, the trailer, and that one got copyright claimed. So I'm guessing this is kind of a Toei thing where whoever owns this is going around and ripping down the trailer from anywhere that's being posted, even though it's a trailer and it should be a promo for their own thing. But I'm guessing this is my prediction, just based on my educated guess, I guess is the best way to put it, is that probably somebody contacted somebody, and Crunchyroll, knowing that Chainsaw Man's probably going to be their biggest property in October, said, don't risk it. Get rid of her. She was a part of this thing that stole our property. Because, unfortunately, Japan does not recognize fair use. For those that are not aware, there's no fair use laws in Japan. So what they say goes, and if anybody touches their property, they think it's stealing, and they're going to go after them. So you can't really claim the whole fair use claim because, again, they don't recognize it. And I think that Crunchyroll probably made this decision based on them not wanting to muddy the waters for Chainsaw Man. And it's a very common thing in these contracts that if you do anything that obviously will affect the company or ruin their reputation or cause them any sort of difficulties with their properties and stuff, they will fire you. So that was probably in her contract that she was not allowed to do things like that. She did something like that, she got fired. So I understand the business standpoint of it. She should not have been doing Fandubs while working with Crunchyroll. That just seems kind of silly. But at the same time, it still doesn't look good. No matter how you cut it, it does not look good. So, unfortunate.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, I mean, that's pretty much the only thing that puts me in the... I think they did the right thing here, mostly because of the fact that technically... she obviously was already employed by Crunchyroll. Doing a fandub was really bad on that side. Even if you go with the idea of, okay, like Andrew was saying, they technically came from that background. Technically, she already had a job. Her doing a fandub is technically, that's like the fifth time I've said technically. She is going behind their back and doing something that's undermining their business.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously a big argument that most people make is like, it's just a trailer. But you can see that a lot of companies will, it's sort of like saying, because for a fact they're going to do a French dub of Chainsaw Man. There's no doubt they will do a French dub. And it's sort of one of those things where they go, when they do that, suddenly everybody goes, well, why isn't Anna playing the role of this character? She was in the trailer. No, that wasn't our trailer. They don't understand. It kind of counters to what they were actually planning and doing. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I got pretty much the gist of what I was saying is that it's technically undermining the business model by doing a fan dub, which is, like we've said before, they don't want pirating, and fan dubs are in a way pirating, and no matter how you look at it. And like I said, I'm more for the idea of finding ways around this situation, but at the same time,
taking down the trailer. Why that should have been enough. I don't understand why you. And again, I don't know if somebody put it in a way that sounded like she was never going to do a role for Crunchyroll ever again. Like they were literally. Yes, Chris said employed. No, she was technically contracted, and Chris understands that. So don't get him wrong on that. But it's still this idea that cutting all ties with somebody, I think, is way too much. Again, I'm hoping that she still has the role with Chizuru and that she's still going to do roles with Crunchyroll. Maybe this is one thing, like, this is our slap on the wrist that you no longer play this character. Or is it an aspect of, one and done? Your one strike's done, get out of here kind of thing, which I think is a bit too much. But again, contract. Should have known that.
It is what it is. I don't want to make it seem like this is, like Andrew said, this doesn't look good when it comes down to it. And I understand that. But at the same time, in this situation, I unfortunately have to lean towards Crunchyroll's in the right on this one. And no matter how much you want to hate on Crunchyroll, technically she did the wrong thing. She should not have done this. This was, and that's probably why she didn't bicker and complain about it, because she knew she was wrong. And that's the frustrating thing. I want to take her side on this, but when it comes down to it, it's the ball is in their court on this one, because she was contracted. She knew that doing this kind of stuff was not okay by them. Even if she had a slight question, if she wasn't really sure and she had a questioning, everything about their business model says that they are not okay with pirating, and fandubs are pirating, and that's how it is.
Yeah, and that's the other questionable area, is that it's just a trailer. It's not like this is episode 1. It's not that it's technically pirating. It's a promo. But again, with what it seems like they're doing with Chainsaw Man, it looks like it's going to be. I was even joking in my video, like, thanks for. I mean, it's sad, but thanks for testing the waters, because now I know I won't put anything Chainsaw Man in my videos, like no screenshots or nothing, because this is obviously a sign they're going to play it like Toei. They're going to play it like if they see a screenshot, if they smell Chainsaw Man, you're probably going to get a strike. Like, they're going to be coming after anybody that touches their property. This is their golden goose. Nobody touch it. And like I mentioned, and I'm going to say it again, and it might upset some people. Chainsaw Man is probably going to be the biggest property in October. I don't think it's going to be Bleach. As much as I love Bleach, I don't think they're going to get as many numbers with Bleach as they will with Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man coming back, I believe, will probably be the biggest property of October. So anybody touching that property, they're going to be coming at with fangs.
Well, and that's true. They're probably going to go more all in than anything. Is they feel that they've got a like Andrew was saying, a golden goose right there, and they're going to milk the crap out of it. You're going to see
ads everywhere.
Ads everywhere.
Everywhere.
They're going to go nuts on it.
Which again goes back to the idea that I wonder if that's why they're probably not going to care so much about Bleach. Everybody's going to come to us for Chainsaw Man anyways, so yeah, sure, let Disney have it. And that was kind of my theories I was going, because Bleach is technically tied in with like Aniplex and stuff. So it's Sony, Crunchyroll. I mean, so why would they not have Bleach? I think it's because Disney probably offered them a lot of money, and if Disney does get streaming rights in the West, it's probably because Crunchyroll's like, no, we have Chainsaw Man. We're gonna have plenty of people here. Let Disney have it. That's fine. If they're paying a bunch, let them have it. So it's kind of bizarre, but.
And to be clear, I do feel really, really bad for her. I want her.
Mm-hmm.
I hope
you're gonna get so much hate in the comments.
Probably. I hope only the best for her. That she finds some way to make an opportunity come from this frustrating situation. I think everybody should learn from their mistakes. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that's the big thing. I think that's the thing that makes it hurt the most, is that there's video games, there's other animated films and stuff that are not anime related. It's just it's a huge cutoff. Like, Crunchyroll is a huge opportunity there, and she was getting a lot of roles. I mean, she was Idis from Fire Force, again Chizuru from Rent a Girlfriend. It's just it seems like you're kind of cutting out from a lot of opportunities there, so it does kind of suck, no matter how you look at it. So. But it is one of those kind of eye-opening things, because I've already seen a lot of other voice actresses and voice actors that are coming out and saying, yeah, I don't mean to harp on this, but don't do that. Like, if you have any, yes, you can use this as a way of getting better, but don't post it. Don't put it out there. Use it as a way of, training on the side, but never post it. And that's the difficulty thing, because we're not saying that they got better by doing fandubs. It's that a lot of people got discovered by doing fandubs. So it is one of those things where, like I mentioned in my video, once you get any role, delete everything. Which kind of sucks. I mean, that's the same thing for me. What if AMC contacted us and said, hey, we need a host for a new anime show. We want you to come on board. And it's like, well, let me check my old videos, make sure I don't have any impersonating Arnold Schwarzenegger or something like that. Better delete all that stuff, anything that could possibly use against me. That's the sad part. But again, this is done while she was working with them, while she was contracted with them. So, bit of different story. All right, let's move on. Futabashi has confirmed that Summoned to Another World for a second time will be getting an anime adaptation. This one, the novel and manga, centers around a man that was summoned to another world to become a warrior, and he saved the world. As a result, he became very popular, and he is happily living his life as a normie in this new world. However, one day he gets caught in a trap and is deported back to his original world as a baby. When he grows up and is in high school, he is summoned once again to the other world.
I thought I was done, and then they pulled me back in.
Right?
Something about this is just absolutely brilliant. I love this concept.
It's like we're doing the isekai, we're doing the rebirth, reincarnation thing all in like one big weird thing. So there you go. Cool stuff.
So whenever somebody talks about his the legendary character from a million years ago, he suddenly realizes it's him that was doing that. So yeah, I love it. This is brilliant.
Like I said, it kind of falls in the same categories as the reincarnated things. Like you hear about the legends of it's typically a demon lord though. So everybody's like talking about this demon lord and they have to hide their identity. But now it's the hero. So there you go. Kadokawa's Comic Flapper magazine has revealed that the original TV anime series Licorice Coil, I'm not going to say that I'm not a huge fan of it or anything, manga is getting a manga adaptation. So it's going to be launching in the September issue of Comic Flapper. The artwork is going to be done by Yasunori Baizen, who hasn't really done much. And the style they are used to isn't really the style of Licorice Coil, so hopefully they can pull that off. Because, I mean, a lot of the appeal of Licorice Coil is the art style, so hopefully they can pull that off.
Yeah, I'm not big into Licorice Recoil or anything like that. So the gunfights and all that art style, I'm totally not into that. So yeah, I'm kind of excited about it.
I was kind of expecting them to do a light novel, but I guess it would be better off as a manga because, for those that aren't familiar, typically with a lot of these original anime, what they're hoping for is that it gets successful and then they can do manga adaptations and light novel adaptations. So I was really kind of expecting them to do a light novel of this one, but I guess it kind of technically works better as a manga. So they'll probably do both. I mean, there's nothing stopping them from doing both, but I guess it is a good thing to note that it is getting that popular. I mean, especially like this last weekend, it was trending pretty much all day. Like Licorice Coil was trending pretty much all day. And there's a lot of excitement building around it. There's already talks about what's going to happen possibly in the next episode. So it's good to see. Not only, I always love originals. I always love supporting originals. Whenever I see an original, I get excited. Yes, part of that's because I don't have to worry about people spoiling things because nobody knows what's going to happen next. But there's also a side of it that it's kind of a group that's trying to do something new and something that's fresh and something that isn't a source material bait, basically. We don't have that fear there that it's a source material bait. I mean, yes, it's quite possible they can do a manga that continues the story. That's totally a possibility. And then so we get technically a manga bait, but hopefully that's not what they're doing here. It's a really good property, and I'm looking forward to more of it. It's definitely up there as one of my favorite of the season. So more is better.
It's one of those that's you go through different storylines and you kind of pick up on different aspects that would probably work better with this type of property or that type of property. This is one of those, just like kind of like Attack on Titan. One of the things that I remember when we were first kind of delving into Attack on Titan back in the day was I think me and Andrew had a conversation, and I had mentioned that the thing that I wanted to see more than anything was them doing the maneuver gear, whatever they call it now. I don't remember. And that was the thing that I wanted to see more than anything on the screen. This is kind of similar as the gung fu thing that the girls do is the thing that I love about seeing it in action. I don't know that I necessarily would care to see it in a manga panel. However, the character artwork for sure is one of those things that I think would look fantastic in manga panels. it's one of those things. Each thing has their own aspect that that you can see highlighted and doing well, and that's just kind of where I am with that.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with the character moments, so and that can obviously transfer to a manga format. So moving on, we have Kodansha's monthly Young magazine has revealed that the Witch and the Beast manga will be getting an anime adaptation. Unfortunately, no other information for this one, but still exciting news for those. I've heard a couple people say that it's definitely one that to keep an eye out for, so hopefully it won't be too long of a wait. Getting no information other than it being adapted kind of leads you to have much to wait for, but we'll see. The official website for The Legend of Mana, the Teardrop Crystal, has revealed the anime will be premiering on October 7th. So this, of course, apparently, I think the anime adaptation of the recent Legend of Mana release. So it looks really visually good. I mean, I guess I technically would assume that it would look good, but hopefully they keep the quality up for it because it visually looks very detailed. So I don't know if they've announced a studio yet? Question mark. Graphinica and Yokohama Animation Lab. I guess again it goes back to the whole question mark of how much budget's being put into it. But like I said, it looks visually really beautiful. Girl always reminds me of Beldandi. The hair reminds me of Beldandi. I did want to check out the new Legend of Mana, so maybe one of these days I'll get around to that one. But
it's one of my favorite properties, game side, and I love the fact that there's a reintroducing of those properties back into the mainstream, and having an anime of it is I'm mixed on, but at the same time, who cares? I would love to see more of it either way.
We finally got an idea of what Kyoto Animation is doing next, Chris. Tsurune. More Tsurune. I'm happy for people that are fans of Tsurune, but if you ask me, hey, what do you want Kyoto Animation to do right now? It'd be like, well, obviously the big one is that Taisho one. It's like, please, I know that apparently that was a lot in the Kyoto studio, that one that got burnt down, but please do that one. Why are we doing more Tsurune? I'm guessing Tsurune is very popular in Japan. I don't know that it has that big of a fandom in the West, but I'm going to assume that it... I mean, obviously, a lot of their more male-focused anime do really well. I mean, Free took off like crazy, and that started out as a commercial, and it turned into a big property that had, like, 3 seasons and movies? So I guess Tsurune is getting that similar treatment here. But yeah, Tsurune is getting a second season. The title is Tsurune, The Connecting Arrow. And it's going to be premiering in January of 2023. So another one that's right around the corner. So no more Maid Dragon. No more Gentai Show period lady.
I don't much care as long as they're doing stuff. I just love them being a presence in the anime sphere for sure.
Yeah, I'll definitely be checking it out. It's not that I hate Tsurune. It's just it's not one of my biggest properties for Kyoto, but I'm excited for it. I still got to check out the movie before I get into the second season, so I'll probably do that here soon. But cool stuff. Glad to see that, and again, happy for all the Tsurune fans out there. Kadokawa has revealed that I Got a Cheat Skill in Another World light novel is getting an anime adaptation. This one is a door in another world stretches out before the boy who's been brutally bullied all of his life. The alternate reality grants him access to all sorts of things like cheat skills and a portal that lets him travel between his old and new world. Oh, interesting. Can this class loser turn his life around back home? That's the big question mark. Is if he's going back and forth, what does it matter about his old world if he's still bullied? I don't know, maybe one of those things where he gets stronger, and so kind of similar. I'm guessing I'm getting vibes of like was this the one where the guy he's like the weakest out of all of them, gets knocked down, and then climbs his way back up the labyrinth and becomes super strong. I don't know why I'm blanking. It starts with an A. Alpharetta, yeah. That's what my mindset goes to, like the bully guy that gets stronger over time and then eventually has to run back into his old classmates who bully him, and now he's like super Like, I would assume that when he goes back to his old world, he doesn't have all of his abilities, but maybe it's just like he becomes hardened so he doesn't get, messed around with kind of thing. I don't know. Another cheaty isekai, but at least it has a twist in the idea that he's able to go back to his previous world whenever he wants to, which, again, I question, like, I guess the other world's going to be rough for him too, so it would give him a reason to have to go back to his previous world. But if it's one of those ones where he goes to the other world, he's super overpowered and has harem, why go back to the other world kind of thing? Which is the age-old question of all these isekais of you wonder why they never talk about going back, and it's like, well, because they don't really need to. But they never talk about the fact they don't really need to. I think Tsukimichi sort of had a feel that at some point he was kind of comfortable, but I don't know. It is funny to think about. Ragna Crimson TV anime official website has revealed that the studio that will be animating it will be Silverlink. So that one I think was a big question mark for a lot of people. Is getting an anime adaptation, but who's working on it? Silverlink's a solid studio, so I guess it's a positive for people. This one is Dragon Hunters, warriors armed with special weapon or silver weapons who kill their prey for bounty. Lowest among their ranks is Ragna, who forms an improbable partnership with the young genius Leonika, a master dragon slayer with more kills to her name than almost any other. All Ragna wants to do is stay by Leonika's side. These names, I swear. But his dream is shattered by the attack from the deadliest dragon imaginable. So, there you go. Crazy art style. Very, very different.
Very unique.
Very, very different. Moving on, we have MAPPA CEO Manabu Otsuka has told IGN France that in an interview that they enjoy Tatsuki Fujimoto's work, who of course is known for Chainsaw Man, and would love to make movies of them someday. For now, he is focusing on Chainsaw Man. I seen this news. I've seen a couple people posting this news, and I immediately go to breaking news. Studio wants to animate more stuff. I know, big shock, right? But it is interesting to note that he obviously loves their work and would love to do every one of their projects. He even noted the idea that, let's keep this in mind. This is them saying they would love to do that work. This does not mean MAPPA's doing anything else besides Chainsaw Man, this one adaptation of Chainsaw Man. They're just saying that they would love to do all of their work. Additionally, he said that they would love to do the second part of Chainsaw Man, which of course is what Chainsaw Man is just starting into, which obviously would not happen anytime soon because they just started that second part. But it is interesting to at least see that they're a huge fan of the project they're working on. I think that's a big plus. When somebody loves somebody's work, that means they're going to put a lot of passion into it. Whether that means they're going to, kill everybody around them just to make it happen, that's the big concern with when it comes to MAPPA. But it's still definitely a cool thing to know. But I always love these kind of news bits because it's like whenever somebody says, "Don't worry, this show is getting a second season because the director said they like the work and they want to do more," and it's like, well, yeah, they always would love to do everything, but it all comes down to who's paying for it. The director's not paying for it. The writer's not paying for it. It's the production committees. It's the producers and stuff. That's the people that are paying for it. But again, I think the cool thing that comes out of this is knowing that this director really loves this person's work and that they're going to put a lot of passion into it. So,
newsflash: people read way too into things.
Yes, always. But it's always keep it in perspective, obviously. Keep it in perspective. Some pretty interesting news. Crunchyroll has announced that they're going to be holding the 7th annual Anime Awards in Japan next year. So it's going to be on March 4th at the Grand Prince Hotel New Takanawa. So exciting stuff there. I made an entire video on this, so I'm kind of curious from Chris's perspective. What do you think this means?
Say it again.
You weren't even... that Crunchyroll is going to have the Crunchy Awards in Japan.
Oh, okay. I think it's cool in some respects. I love the idea of them being able to have access to a lot of the original creators. I don't know that it will really change much outside of that. It's one of the things that will probably come of it is that Crunchyroll is effectively going to be placing themselves more in the position of making themselves more, how do I say politely, putting themselves more on an ivory tower that will make it impossible to knock them down. Because if they can get themselves maneuvered into a position where it's just like we've talked about with the whole buyout of rights stuff or other things like that, they're maneuvering themselves in different ways that in a lot of ways that it's brilliant. I think that they are the moves that they're making is absolutely brilliant. That's why I brought up a while ago with Andrew the whole thing with Viz. I think that it's interesting to from an outsider's perspective to see the things that they're doing that makes them in a way the mainstay. You're almost going to get into a position where you can't get around them.
Yeah.
And I think that this is one of those moves of getting themselves more infused with the industry in ways that, in a lot of ways, something to consider is a lot of the things that, from what I understand, things that you do in Japan is all about building up that that relationship. And just like with the whole saving face thing, stuff like that is you don't burn those bridges, because burning the bridge, you don't get that relationship back, period. And so you want to absolutely give and take with that relationship, and putting themselves right there in the middle of Japan and having a big to do. While it's cool that we're actually giving credit to these animators and stuff like that, it also is making them the absolute gatekeeper, period. Because they're the ones who are going to be building those relationships. And yes, we're celebrating these animators and stuff. When it comes down to it, Crunchyroll is the one that's making those things happen. And so the relationship credit is going to Crunchyroll. And so in a way, like I said, it's absolutely fascinating to see that they're making these maneuvers from an outsider perspective. Me watching this, I'm seeing this and I'm going, that is brilliant that they're doing that.
Yeah, I think the thing that I always thought about with the Anime Awards is, despite the fact that it never really ever goes my direction, and full disclosure, I've been technically the Otaku Spirit name, but technically me by name has been a judge for the Anime Awards for like 4 or 5 years. So quite a few of them. And the thing that always comes out of it is that despite the fact that I was a judge and none of my stuff gets in the list, which I always tell people, don't worry about it being the fault of the judges. It's just like, or individual judges, because again, 95% of what I choose is never on those lists. It's always something else. And that's the unfortunate thing that always comes out of it. But at the same time, I'm not all of them. I'm just but one judge. But the thing that always come out of it, despite the fact that I always feel like it doesn't quite go in the direction that I want it to, sometimes I feel like certain things get kind of pushed out of the direction. Sometimes I get frustrated by the fact that there's judges in the panels that openly admit that they've not watched really anything in a year. A lot of judges being picked based on them being popular VTubers and stuff like that. That's always the concern that I always have. But the thing that always gets me at least excited for it is that I always feel like it is a way for us to celebrate anime. That's always what it comes down to for me, is to celebrate anime. And the thing that always kind of is obviously the letdown with these awards is that it never feels like it's celebrating the anime. In a lot of cases, and it's always been technically with it being in the US, and they've been kind of pushing further and further towards this not being the case. It always feels like the fans celebrating that they won, and it's not necessarily celebrating the anime itself. They've been sort of getting better by saying, okay, we're going to have this director, on a live feed or something like that, and saying thank you for, picking our show or whatever. That was always the cool part, because it started getting closer and closer to the positive sides of things like Oscars. This idea of being able to, okay, this show wins,
bring the director, bring the writer on the stage and celebrate with them. Say, congratulations, we picked you. They win. That was always the thing that I wanted. And I think this is the only way they can do that, honestly, is by going to Japan and being physically there, so they don't have to fly every single winter over into, California. They can say, we're here. We got the votes in. Don't tell anybody, but your show won. Come be on stage. And then they can get, again, the writers, the original author, the mangaka. It's probably going to be mostly probably producers or something, but hopefully, mangakas, hopefully the original authors will be able to get on stage, and we can celebrate their work, and we can congratulate them, not congratulate our shonen for winning, and everybody's going, yay, our shonen won. Celebrate anime, which I think is great.
The only issue that I have with that, and this is much more, I'm trying to maintain my cool when I'm saying this, because this honestly, I acknowledge what Andrew is saying here, in the way he's implying it, and my other side is based on what I've seen as far as from the background and how it's the judging is all done. I vehemently am hesitant on whether or not I like the aspect of, like I said, this being very gatekeeping-ish, of the only ones that can give out these awards is through Crunchyroll. And yes, there is a visualized, the community is supposedly voting for a lot of the ones that the community feels is the ones who need to be presented these awards, but understand that it is all visual. And that's my biggest frustration with that, is it looks like the people that that the community is picking is the ones that are supposed to be getting these awards. That's all I'm going to say on that.
I don't know what you just said.
Mostly, I'm trying to be nice about it, but when it comes down to it, how do I put this without flat out saying that not everybody who is the true choice is getting up there. For instance, let's say, and not necessarily that I believe that it would go, and you can cut whatever you want to cut from this, the interspecies reviewers. If it was the most popular one, because they got cut out because it was inappropriate, interspecies reviewers didn't get the actual award. Not saying that it was the best one, but
that behind the scenes they can gatekeep what actually wins. I mean, that's been an argument that a lot of people make, is that, in this year, Sentai Filmworks got no awards. And it's like, well, technically Sentai Filmworks in that particular year had 4 shows. And technically you can argue that most of the judges aren't watching on High Dive, unfortunately. It's always going to come down to what the judges themselves nominate. And yes, there's no way for us to know that once it gets submitted to them that they go, yeah, that one definitely not going in there. We'll just act like nobody nominated or not enough people nominated. We don't know what the other judges would nominate. And that's about as far as I would go on that whole thing. So yes, they technically could behind the scenes see, Made in Abyss second season, that wasn't Sentai Filmworks, so we're not going to put that as a nomination. But they've put plenty of Netflix, tons of Netflix. I mean, like Beastars and stuff has been praised a lot on the Anime Awards. And I don't know that any Sentai Filmworks, but again, Sentai Filmworks is only here this year, suddenly started licensing a bunch of stuff. If we come to the Anime Awards and there's no Sentai Filmworks stuff on there, I would definitely agree. And yes, it goes even further than that. If it's something that is inappropriate, what if Harem Another World is nominated by all the judges? Would they allow it in there? We don't know.
And that's my frustration.
But again, why is that the argument against this as being a good thing? Because who else is doing it? Nobody else is doing it. So why not?
And that's my frustration, is when it comes down to it, it comes down to these awards are in a way telling these producers, hey, this is what the community is enjoying. And so it effectively,
and it's always been like that. It's not going to change for them being in Japan.
No. They're actually going to be more visually aware of, hey, this is what the community is liking. The way around this, honestly, is purchase. If you purchase things from them, they get more money. They see, okay, this is what we like, and so therefore we'll produce more. This award thing, what it's doing is it's putting a big old spotlight on, hey, this is what the community likes, but behind the scenes, these people are saying, okay, they have the ability to say, this is actually what they like. This is not, they don't like this so much. They really like this. And in a way, they can imply that the community is liking one thing when in actuality, the community is liking something else. So like I said, the way around this is where you put your money, period.
And I would argue that that's not going to be. I can see them being happy if they see their stuff as award or whatever. I mean, me personally, I was upset when I seen that Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation got snubbed. Like, it should have been in the running for Anime of the Year. It was on all the other awards, like the I think r/anime did one, Anime Trending did. They all acknowledged Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. Unfortunately, it was in fantasy, but unfortunately, the Anime Awards, no, we want Sunny Boy. No harsh against Sunny Boy, but Sunny Boy was nowhere near as popular as Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. There's no way you can convince me otherwise. And that's proof in the idea that it got so much, acknowledgement elsewhere. But at the same time, I will say that as much as I think it's great when they do see, hey, they're acknowledging me over there with the Anime Awards, they don't care. In the end, the producers are going to produce what's making them money. If they produce Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation and they get plenty of money kicked back for it, and the light novel sells better, that's all they care about. They don't care what's on the Crunchyroll Anime Awards in the end. The big producers and stuff, they don't care about the awards. They care about what is selling. And yes, that to your credit, it is, if you buy their products, that's what they see. They don't see, again, they will like it, but they don't see that. Crunchyroll's not going to say, Harem Labyrinth of Another World, you won Best Anime of the Year, here's $5 million. They go, here, you won. Thank you. You acknowledged me. And I think that's a great thing, obviously. Yeah, you can make an argument that they feel like they're not appreciated. And that's kind of, again, how I felt with Mushoku Tensei. That's why I went ahead and went out of my way to post that, yes, they won technically Otaku Spirit's Best Anime of the Year. And I made a little graphic for it and everything. And I sent out to the author and everything. But in the end, I don't think it's that big of a deal. There is another thing to be said, that Crunchyroll is not the first to be in Japan. Netflix started doing it. And Netflix technically owns Anime Trending, I believe. And Anime Trending technically wiped the floor with them last year. While Crunchyroll was not, all they did was posted on their website who won. Like, they didn't even do a ceremony, nothing. I'm probably assuming because they were preparing for this. It probably had to do with the buyout still being a thing. But they were probably preparing for this. Like, this was going to be their big hit. And I think this is probably a big, huge response to the fact that Anime Trending and, again, like, other groups are trying to do their own anime awards, and I think they're trying to one-up them. Now, granted, I didn't really see too much out of Netflix's whole thing, mainly because, like, a lot of the Anime Trending stuff kind of leans towards Netflix, which, if you have a problem with the fact that Crunchyroll is doing nothing but Crunchyroll stuff and they're not doing enough with Netflix properties and stuff, Netflix is going to worry about Netflix stuff. So each one of them are going to do their own thing. So, but I think this is probably a direct response to that. I don't think they want somebody else to step in and take over their title of being the Grammys for anime, which I know a lot of people don't want that. That's a thing. But I don't know. It's got its positive and its negatives, obviously. I think the big question that I have now is it going to be judged again? I have there's a side of me that almost wonders if they might maybe they might build a system that will allow people to choose what's going to be nominated. But again, the problem there is going to be, there's a good thing about judges. As much as there's an issue with judges, a good thing about judges is that there's judge darlings, which Sonny Boy, There's Judge Darlings, but at the same time, there is an aspect of being able to keep it away from the popularity thing. And if you do allow the viewers to do it, what's obviously going to be at the top of the list? The one that 1.5 million people watch, not the one that, well, according to Mal, the one that has 1.5 million people on Mal that registered a show versus the one that got 10,000. The lower viewed ones aren't going to get any attention whatsoever. It's going to be the big shonens, and nobody wants a list of nothing but shonens. But I will say the best way to remedy that, more genres. Please, Crunchyroll, if you're listening to this, put as many different genres as possible. Make an isekai one, make a fantasy, make a romance, make all of them. As many, like what we do with every year, as many as possible. That way more get recognized. Anyways.
I don't know that there is a perfect way to fix a lot of these problems. And my issue is not so much whether or not Crunchyroll is doing this or Netflix is doing this. And I don't think there is any way to truly be there. I'm more opposed to the idea of the power being kind of centralized in one spot, and that's why I'm not necessarily opposed to it. Just cautious about it in a lot of ways. I hope for the best. I hope that this is not going to communicate something that shouldn't be communicated, but I don't see any way around it until things shift, honestly.
Crunchyroll bad is what Chris is saying. Crunchyroll bad. Our last bit of news is Assassin's Pride manga has come to an end. It is in its chapter published in the September issue of Shueisha's Ultra Jump magazine. So if you're a fan of Assassin's Pride, we got like one season of it and it didn't feel conclusive at all. So maybe we might get another anime of it. But yeah, this will be concluding in its 10th compilation volume. So there you go. Only 10 volumes. That's not too long. But would that be like 3 seasons worth, depending on how fast they run through each volume? But I doubt we're getting another season of that. I mean, we get adaptation or sequels of things that I don't normally think we do. So there you go. And that's it. That's all the news that seems important to us, that should be important to you because it's important to us. Let's dive into our community. Again, as usual, you can contact us through our Twitter at Otaku Spirited. We have a Discord, which you can find on otakuspirit.com. If you go to our links there, we have a Discord link there. We can join our community of great people, and you can submit them in the Submit Questions channel. We also have a contact us button on otakuspirit.com. I've talked about it before, but I'm probably going to get rid of that because I get just way too much spam through it. And I can't, no matter how many ways I try to get around it, it just seems like I get more and more spam. And people like Blue Spark get mad at me because I missed their message, which I'm assuming it got lost in the fray of spam. But yeah, plenty of ways to get a hold of us so you can submit your questions. We definitely appreciate everybody that does. Blue Spark, again, chimed in for the 3rd time. This question may not have aged well. I first submitted it a few months ago with the influx of listeners asking you guys to judge their taste. Also, since I'm reconstructing it from memory again, I might forget category or two. Can't really be helped. On the flip side, I might have added a few ones if I can come up with them any. I don't have any... Blue Spark says, I don't have a set top 10 list my favorite animes or anything like that. However, I do have a few awards for shows. Characters, songs, etc., which are number 1 for me in their respective categories. So without further ado, judge the following to your heart's content. Favorite romance: Love, Chunubyo, and Other Delusions. It's not really a romance. It's a comedy, dude. I'm joking. I'm joking. I give that a big, huge thumbs up. I mean, I for romance specifically, I'd probably give it like a 6 or 7. Honestly, I mean, to be kind of pretty critical on the idea of romance. I mean, it does definitely deliver going into the 2nd season, but at the same time, it is more cutesy puppy love type of stuff. I don't really necessarily see it as romance, but at least it goes in direction. So I give that a thumbs up, though.
I absolutely give props to this one. I think that what Love, Chunibyo and Other Delusions kind of pulls off that a lot of other romance-ish type shows don't really do is it helps it points the two characters in a direction of commonality. which is something that is not really done in a lot of ways in most romance shows. In a lot of cases, it's two characters that are thrown together, and then they kind of it plays out in a drama. I don't understand you, you don't understand me. I don't understand you, you don't understand me type thing, and then it goes into the will they, won't they, to get to the ultimate goal of a quote unquote romance. This one kind of flips that on its head in that. Yes, their drama is one character does not want to accept that part of himself, and the other character is just all in on that part of themselves. And then eventually that commonality comes together. Now, whether or not it's a grown up relationship or not is kind of irrelevant in the fact that what this does well is the commonality of these to actually have this side of themselves, which is the Chunibyo syndrome. And so I really do like that. And plus it plays out for some really cutesy, goofy, like Andrew was saying, the puppy love part of their relationship. So I give you all kinds of props for that one.
Favorite drama, A Tale of Memories. I've dabbled a little bit in it, but I haven't really watched the whole thing, so I can't judge on that one. So
this is a huge, frustrating on my list of shame. I've wanted to do this one because one of my favorite voice actresses is in this one, and I've desperately wanted to watch this, but yeah.
Favorite romantic comedy, Kaguya-sama Love is War. It's pretty much a perfect show. I mean, yes, the will they, won't they aspect is getting a little tired at this point. 3 seasons in, but at the same time, it's just overall the show is just a perfect show. It's perfectly adapted, perfectly portrayed, voicing's perfect, the animation's perfect. It's just gold. So yeah, I can agree with you on that one.
Love it.
Favorite thriller, Steins Gate. Chris can definitely agree on that one. Perfect show. I've talked this one to death. The first half bored me. The second half's great. It's an amazing show. It's a legend. So I have no beefs on that one. Besides the first half was boring.
Yeah, it's a fantastic show.
Favorite sports show, Haikyuu. Can't agree with you there. I didn't enjoy it enough that I didn't watch it.
Blue Spark. I don't know that you would go for it, but give Hajime no Ippo a shot, and then if you still feel that is
we're gonna start doing that now. Yeah. If you think that's good, let me show you what's actually.
In all honesty, I'm not sure that Blue Spark would really go with Hajime no Ippo, but I would be very curious as to if you would feel the same way about it after Hajime no Ippo.
That was a challenge. That's a challenge. Let's see here. Favorite WTF Japan anime, Keijo. That's I don't know if would be the top. I mean, favorite's a weird way of putting it. It's almost like my most WTF Japan anime. I think that's a better way of wording it. But yeah, that one's definitely up there. But there's plenty others that I would probably go higher in that one, but that's a good one. That's a good one. The Gates of Bootylan was definitely a big one right there.
Yeah, that's a curious way of putting it. Does that mean that you're saying WTF Japan but it's still your favorite? So it's like your favorite guilty pleasure type?
That's what I'm thinking. Because like things like, I don't know, random in my head. Recently, My Sister's Unusual would be like a bigger one.
Yeah, that one would probably be one of those for.
Or Pupa, or there's plenty of others.
Yeah, Pupa would be like, what in the world, Japan? But I don't know that I would necessarily say it's my favorite guilty pleasure as far as that. It's just. What are you trying to do?
Weird, but I still enjoyed it. Kiss Exist. There you go. That would be mine in that category of I still enjoyed it, but it is like this is a thing, Japan. Are we really doing this? But there you go. I got a favorite guilty pleasure right here, so I guess not. Favorite guilty pleasure, meaning I think it's overall subpar show, and I can't put my finger on why I love it so much. Capellion. I read mostly the manga of that one, and I guess I kind of agree with you in the idea that it's kind of hard to put your finger on it. I just really like the setting and everything. I think that was a big draw for me. I never went back to check out the anime itself. Like I said, I went pretty far into the manga. So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like I say I get where you're going for that one. So I agree with you. But at the same time, I don't know that I necessarily have. I guess technically Cross Range is the same one that we keep bringing up. Is the I don't know why. It's just I don't know why we like it. I don't know if I do like it, kind of thing. But there you go. You watched the anime of Capellion, right?
I think I started it. I don't know how far I got into it, honestly.
Favorite unpopular opinion anime, School Days. You have to explain why. That you liked it, or I guess that's that you liked it.
I think a lot of people love School Days. It's one of those that are
because of what happens in it. It was a boring show otherwise.
It's one of those that everybody loves to kick it after it's already been dead like 10 years, and people still love to turn back and kick it type thing.
It's just that whenever we hate a show, we want it to have a School Days in. That's all. like Rent a Girlfriend. Least favorite unpopular opinion anime, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Least favorite unpopular opinion. So I'm guessing it's unpopular opinion that you don't like it. I guess that's how you're putting it. I guess that's fine. You're just wrong, but sure. I don't know. We're in the area. We're in the department now where Evangelion is just the one that's it's being sort of online where it was never good. Kind of thing is happening with it for a lot of people.
I can't wait until Furikuri gets that treatment. When can I get on board with that? And I can be a part of the team that says, "Hey, Furikuri was never good." I was on
board before anybody else. I'm the hipster that already knew that.
I have 10 years worth of anime casts to prove that I've never liked Furikuri.
Best world building from the New World for sure, hands down. That was one of the few cases where when the information dump happened, I was like, yes, like just inject it right straight into the vein. Tell me more. That's just it had a fascinating world building with that series. And that was one of the biggest reasons why I loved it so much.
Okay. To give credit, do you think Made in the Abyss is starting to kick that off of the throne?
No, because Made in the Abyss is more adventure. It's not really necessarily world building because you're building an abyss. You're not building the world, I guess, is the best way to put it. I mean, you can still technically say that the abyss is the world building, but no, I wouldn't say so.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's more adventure. It's more adventure than anything. It's the unknown and I guess the main thing is because every layer is its own world that it doesn't necessarily fit in the same category for me, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, biggest wish for second season gamers. No, there's plenty more for me that I want way more than gamers, so I can't agree with you on that one. But I hope you get what you want. I always hope that people get more seasons of things they love. Just like I was mentioning earlier with Tsunade. I'm not mad.
I'm gonna throw something out there for all of you who are absolutely on board with the No Game No Life.
Oh my gosh!
I actually, now that I have gotten caught up on No Game No Life, second season, yes, probably not a third season. Just throwing it out there, and I might make a couple people because there is an aspect to the wherever the second season leads. The third season would probably be a no-go.
There you go. But no, there's like I said, there's plenty that I would say that I want a second season way more than gamers. But I did enjoy gamers. I think it was a lot of fun. It's literally will they, won't they, the anime, or miscommunication, the anime. That's literally what it is. Like from the get-go, from the very beginning, it is miscommunications, causes shenanigans. But it was a lot of fun in how they did that. So it worked for me. Biggest wish for a third season, Spice and Wolf. Well, congratulations, you have a new Spice and Wolf coming. So it's not. I don't think it's going to be a third season. A lot of people are quoting the announcement as being a third season. I'm of the boat that I think they're going to start over from the beginning, but that's just my prediction based on them saying a new adaptation. But a new anime adaptation could be third season. So,
but to be fair, you're reading into words.
What?
I just made the joke of people reading into words earlier, and you just technically a new adaptation. You're reading into words.
So. Reading the words. Let's see, your female favorite male protagonist, Keima Katsuragi from The World God Only Knows.
I like him. I don't know that he's my favorite, but yeah, I like him.
He's a meh. Favorite female protagonist, Kyoko Mogami from Skip Beat.
Absolutely, totally on board with that one. I love her.
Me.
Don't know that she's my favorite, but yeah, I love her. She's absolutely a great character. We need more Skip Beat, by far.
There you go. And there you go. Second season right there. Why don't you say Skip Beat? I don't know. Jeez. Waifu, Magilo from Tales of Berseria. I haven't played that one yet, so I don't know. I can't say yes or no. Which it technically did that. No, that didn't get an anime yet. I don't think so.
Well,
it was a prequel story. It was like the beginning part. I don't think they did a full adaptation. They did like an OVA. Yeah, because they were doing Tales of
Zestiria,
and at some point they did like an OVA where they showed like the first segment of Berseria, and then they came back and they finished the rest of Zestiria. So I think that's what they did, because it's technically a sequel story. So
couldn't remember if they got back to the other one or not.
That's true. Favorite OP song, because I would probably watch it. They did a full adaptation, because I watched all of Zestiria and I didn't play the game. So favorite OP song or opening. Perfect Area Complete by from Paka and Test, Summon the Beast. I don't remember that one. We probably talked about it though. But that's a Chris show. I started it, but I never finished it. So favorite ED, the ED for Bakemonogatari. Which one? Didn't they have like 3 for Bakemonogatari? Maybe it was just one. But I love all the Monogatari series and music, so that one's an easy yes for me. I think that was even one that was done by Claris, if I remember correctly, because I think Claris did a lot of the EDs. A lot of the OPs were character songs. So
yeah, it seems like a lot of them are just different characters. Each character who was the main focus of that show got their own personalized ED.
Yeah, no, the OPs were done by the characters. The ED was separate. I have like a whole music like package of all their character songs, so it's familiar for me. Biggest WTF Japan theme song, the Neko Mimimoto Moon Phase. What's wrong with that one?
There's nothing wrong with that. What the heck? Come on.
I guess technically having the whole nya nya kishi nya nya kishi. I don't know.
I personally liked the more softer tone one that's not as playful. I love the playful one, don't get me wrong, but I like the other one that's more kind of naughty-ish.
Naughty-ish? More ASMR-ish?
Yeah.
I don't know. WTF OPs. I mean, there's quite a few of them that are. I mean, EDs like here recently with the spider. So what was pretty wild. I know that My Isekai Life tried to rip them off, but you failed miserably on that one. I don't know. I think the OPs are always kind of interesting introduction, but the WTF Japan part is kind of the area that makes it more difficult. I mean, I think the Dumbbells You Lift was pretty wild. I think, if I remember correctly, Ping Pong Club was pretty nuts. There's one I know I'll probably kick myself for not remembering later. But yeah, there's a lot of options out there. Japan's crazy, and the OPs are usually the pullers. So there you go, Blue Spark. We finally answered your question. I hope you're happy, Baka. But thanks for submitting. Even though I'm glad that at least it took so long for us to get around to it, that we got to tell you that Spice and Wolf got an announcement for another anime, so that's a good thing. Arpit C says, and a question, do you guys like the format of confusing anime series where there is a watch order and guides to watch it like Monogatari, Fate, and Haruhi? I love this format where there are many arcs, seasons, OVAs, and movies of a long story. It feels like an achievement in a video game when I finish one arc or season. I don't, in most cases. I'm okay with it. Like the Monogatari series, for example, I was fine with the whole idea that I was watching into it and constantly wondering how the heck did he meet this vampire, and then eventually I get the vampire story. I finally get Kizu Monogatari. I was fine with something like that where it keeps referencing this backstory and eventually they'll have like an entire arc to cover it. What I don't like is things like Peach Boy Riverside, where it's just all over the place and there's no rhyme or reason for it. I'm fine with it when it has a cohesive story that is telling me something in segmented times for a reason. I don't like whenever it's just all over the place for the sake of being all over the place to create discussion. That doesn't work for me. Same with things like we had recently a watch along with Princess Principal, and I don't think that one was as jarring because it didn't feel like I needed context that was presented later on. But like I said, things like Peach Boy Riverside, no, I don't. Haruhi, I think, is another example that a lot of people fell off because of that. Fate, I don't mind so much because it was technically wrote after. So specifically with Fate Stay Night, the visual novel came out, and then Junibuchi wrote Fate Zero, which is a prequel story after the fact. That's technically fine because it's wrote with the context that you watch the original series. So, yeah, your thought?
It really depends on. I think basically what Andrew's implying of if it's done well, it doesn't matter. And
if it's done well, it's good. I like it. If it's done terribly, I don't like it.
When it comes down to it, I kind of agree. It really depends on how well it's done. And I generally I have not ever really had a problem with it. I fall more in line of if you're making reference to it, you better pull it off. That I do think is more where I would lean. There's been too many times where I watched a show where it's referencing something that's happened. This happened, and when they finally get into it, it's like that doesn't justify any of the crap that you're implying. It just doesn't, and that makes me mad more than anything.
Yeah. Taco Trucker says, okay, I've got a good one for you guys. Not that I wish you any harm, but say my truck-kun just isekai'd you into a fantasy anime world. Don't worry, it's not a bloody wasteland where you could easily die. In fact, you could. I like how this Taco Trucker knows where his truck sends people. I mean, I guess that's a good thing. I don't know if you just choose based on how you hit people, which direction you face. But anyways, in fact, you get to be insanely overpowered per normal. The truck-kun god appears before you. Is it ever a truck-kun god? That'd be funny if you have an isekai show where a guy gets hit by a truck and then suddenly a truck standing in for him and talking to him. Appears before you and says, "My bad, bro. To make up for it, I'm going to send you a new world. I will grant you an anime harem of 5 girls from the shows you wish and body of your choice. Not all the looks, equipment, and abilities of your choices they had will be in this new world." Apparently, Taco Trucker's choosing "My body is Anos Vorgold, misfit of Demon King Academy. I would have chosen Eyes Gold from Overlord, but I don't want certain body parts."
I totally get that.
Kind of missing certain things. No, I think Anos is great. I think he's a good choice for sure. He says for his girls, Horo from Spice and Wolf, Shaltir Budfall from Overlord, Senna from Haganai. Good. Which one was Senna? Is Senna's the one that I'm thinking of?
Yeah, I think that's the blonde.
The one that I like.
I think all of us like her.
The one with the butterfly clip.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, approved. Andrew approves. Senna, best girl. You're approved. Icarus from Heaven's Loft Property and Rias Grimoire from High School DxD. I think I pretty much agree with everything in your list besides Rias. I'm not a huge fan of Rias, honestly. I mean, there's nothing wrong with her, but she's not up there. Like, I need to have her. Icarus is all right.
I'd probably replace Rias with Rory.
I'd replace Rias with Roxy, Icarus with Rem, Senna with Yu Gahama. Shaltir's good. Hollow's good. And yeah, I think I can go with you with Anos Voldegold. He's like super OP and looks good, so I don't have a problem with that either.
I don't know. I think I'd go. My personal favorite is probably going to be something similar to Ginkgo. I think Ginkgo has got he has that kind of shady.
Ginkgo from Mushishi?
Yeah. I think he has that shady kind of. I mean, I could probably go swing the other way for him. So I think he'd probably be all right.
I'd hit that. I would choose that one. As like our choice here is like, oh, is a character voiced by Kendra Suda? I'd hit that. I'd choose that one because I did it.
You guys have finally got a character that I'd turn that way for. No, I think he looks really great, and I could totally go that direction for that. So as far as my girls, I agree. Holo is fantastic. I have to have Rory for sure. I don't know that Senna is enough to put her in my list. But I mean, she's a good looking girl. I probably would go ahead and get Tsubasa. Is it Tsubasa? Tsubaki from Monogatari. So I can have my cat girl in there.
There you go. Yeah. Tsubasa, yeah.
I think that's pretty much everybody. Because I definitely would have Shelter. Shelter is awesome. I love her.
Yeah, good. Yeah, there you go. And she's willing to urinate if you need her to. That was a weird addition to the recent episode. Anyways, thanks to Taco Trucker, and thanks to everybody else for submitting your questions. I think we'll call it with that. But as usual, if you want to get onto our podcast with your questions, definitely go to talkspirit.com. There's all the links to there. I mostly suggest going to the Discord, joining there, and submitting it there. Because again, like I said, I don't know how long the contact us button's going to stay up because it's driving me crazy. But yeah, as usual, I definitely appreciate everybody that supports us through letting other people know about us. Definitely appreciate all those that support us through Patreon. Go to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/takuspirit and checking out our videos there. Any way that you can support us is greatly appreciated. But yeah, with that said, we thank you all for listening. We hope you all enjoyed, and you all take care.
Os.